Lebanese Prime Minister Najib Mikati may have announced that his government will respect its obligations towards the International Tribunal, including paying Lebanon's 49% share of the funding. This has yet to happen. If it doesn't, Lebanon could be facing UN Security Council sanctions under Chapter 7 of the Charter. The international community contributes 51% of the budget of the Special Tribunal for Lebanon. The Registrar is working hard to increase the number of contributing countries, and it has no concerns that the fundings will be met. The main question remains, what happens if Lebanon decides not to pay its share? Budget of 2012 we're talking about here?
No, we're talking about a budget of 2011. So for a long time already, Lebanon is under the obligation to pay for the 49%. So that is for 2011.
So Lebanon has defaulted already?
Defaulted is a big word. You know, they are obliged to provide the money. At this moment, we are working and soundly working on financial contributions from other governments.
According to von Hebel, available funds at the moment this interview was made can cover the STL expenses till October. Still, he said he wasn't at all concerned that funds could dry out, blocking the work of the tribunal. He said, according to the STL statute, the process will continue even if Lebanon decides not to pay its share, given that the UN Secretary General has the right to look for alternative sources of funding.
October, of course, doesn't sound very far away.
Not at all.
I see that. But that is a normal practice with tribunals based on voluntary contributions. We are in constant contact with a lot of governments throughout the world, and we have an intensive fundraising strategy asking for governments to provide financial resources. And I'm very confident we are able to find that financial and political support from many governments.
Media information suggests that the most lucrative contributions come from the US, France, Canada, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Kuwait, and of course the hosting country, Holland. The registrar declined going into the details of who the donors are, saying that on one hand, many countries had requested secrecy, and on the other hand, data keeps changing from one year to the other. He said he understands the criticism that some have against the high cost of the tribunal. Lebanon's share for this year is $33 million, by far superior to the annual budget of the Justice Ministry, which covers the expenses of courtrooms looking into tens of thousands of cases suffering from a huge financial deficit.
That is a very, very relevant question. I think there has to be a general recognition that international justice doesn't come cheap. We are working in a very efficient way. I'm confident that we are doing so. We recently had an audit report which shows we are doing so.
International companies, a British one, the National Audits Organization, in the case of Lebanon, audit the expenses of the international tribunals. AlArabiya, العربية, The Hague.